Okay, they won. It's okay. It's okay. Hawks win. Barely. 2-3 in overtime over the Montreal Canadiens. And that overtime goal is going to be one that we're going to be talking about pretty extensively here in this review. So let's quickly go through um, the rest of the game before we get to the event that's got everyone talking. So the Hawks are coming into play the worst team in the league, pretty much. Yeah, Montreal sucks. It's hard to believe that that team went to the final just last year. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it happened. And well, now they suck again. Now they don't just they're not going to barely make the playoffs. They just straight up suck this year. The Hawks went to Montreal to give Marc-Andre Fleury his 500th career win as a goalie. So Marc-Andre Fleury back in net. Hopefully you guys see another win. About 7.5 minutes into the game, the Hawks are clearing the zone, and Taves gets a nice lead pass to Dominic Kubalik. And he's been on a scoring drought. Hasn't looked that great, honestly. Gonna be honest. Kubalik was great before the COVID shortened season, or what would become the COVID shortened season. And he was all right last year, but this year he just has not been great. Big scoreless streak, and he's able to get in and score to make it 1-0. Kubalik finally scores again and gets the Hawks on the board. Kubalik's 7th goal of the season comes off the Hawks' 6th shot of the game, and up to this point, Montreal has 0. Big old goose egg. So the Hawks would be going into intermission a leading 1-0. Unfortunately, in the second period, Montreal would put 2 in to take the lead. The first one being a nice shot from Jeff Petrie, and the second one being a nice power play goal from Mike Hoffman, who just finds a rebound off his stick, or on his stick, and it was just such a fast shot, right past Fleury, and they took the lead on the power play. To go to the end of the second, it would be 2-1 Montreal. Thankfully, in the first few minutes of the third, Hawks go on the power play, and Kane has it, just waiting. Yeah, he just sits there, and you know what usually happens in these situations. He passes it rink wide to DeBrincat, and he just snipes it. But that's not what happens on this play, because Patrick Kane just scores. He just scores by himself and ties the game. A nice power play goal really early in the power play. And Patrick Kane, I thought that pass went right to the stick of Jonathan Taves and he buried it, but it wasn't. Kane just whipped it through. It just went in, and that he breaks. He's also been on a bit of a drought here. So, you need to have Kane producing. You need to have Patrick Kane producing on his team. But honestly, that would pretty much be it for regulation. There was really nothing much else. Hawks were down to Montreal. I think that just says it enough how this was a pretty rough game for Chicago. So on to overtime. 2-2, tie game. About halfway through overtime, Brandon Hagel's clearing the zone, gets a nice pass to Kurashev. And Kurashev makes a nice move to get pretty much a breakaway. And he moves and he's about to shoot, and he's hit. And by Montreal defender, and they both go into Montreal's goalie, and just the net comes off, and the puck is just kind of rolling at a slower speed. Kurashev didn't get the speed he wanted on it because he was hit, and so the puck kind of just rolls slowly as the net comes off, and there was probably going to be a penalty shot, but they would go to review the goal anyways, so this was a huge talking point in the hockey world. But Kurashev is taken down by Mike Hoffman and thrown into Montembeault. The puck was rolling into the net as the goal was being lifted. This is the first part of the controversy. This is the first part. Did the puck actually go in the net in the first place? Did it actually completely cross the line before the goal itself was lifted off its bindings, and it would be the goal is let up, whistle, start the play over. That ended up being confirmed after quite a bit of a review. It was really close. This was a really close play, but they called it a goal. But they had to go back to review for offsides. So the goal may have actually scored, but it may not actually count at all, and this review would pretty much have been rendered useless if Kurashev was offsides, which sparked another pretty long review. This review process was pretty long. It was probably the longest review process I've ever seen in a hockey game. I'm going to be honest. But they come back out, and after the review, they confirmed it to be not offsides and a good goal, and game over. So Phillip Kurashev wins the game with his third of the season. It's his first career overtime goal. And for Kurashev, it's like, that was my first overtime goal. I didn't really, I was struck it down. I kind of got it from a technicality. And see, a lot of fans were saying this was pretty controversial, and some people were upset and said it was a really bad call. I don't know the rule book that well, so I really can't comment on whether objectively it was a good or bad call. I just can't comment on that. So I'm honestly just here to report and kind of review and react and say, yeah, it was a good goal. And I mean, looking at it, the more I looked at it, the more I could see both sides. It really could have gone either way. Like, this call could have gone both ways, and it just ended up going the Hawks' way this time, and they ended up getting the win in overtime, and they finished the year sweeping the Canadiens. But the Hawks extend their winning streak to 3 games, and they've got the Ducks next. And then they fly out to Seattle to take on the Kraken. And they survived. That's kind of how you can look at this one. They survived and got the 2 points. Hopefully more wins to come. So yeah, that's about going to do it for this one. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more reaction. And I will see you guys next time.